Welcome back, everybody. This is Carlos Infante coming to you from Mexico City. Today, I'm going to show you last week's pull list. It's not a very big pull list, actually, just four titles this time around. No back issues, unfortunately. I mean, Trinity War is going to be taking a bit of my budget for back issues for the next few weeks. But I've been really enjoying Trinity War so far. The first two parts have been, incredible. But I'll get to that in a moment. So first off, is Supergirl number 22. This is the second part of the story that introduces the new version of the Cyborg Superman, but we learn in this issue that Cyborg is not really the bad guy. Well, he is a bad guy, but not but he's not alone, and there's actually somebody above him that kind of is pulling the strings. So this is a very very good issue. This is a very cool cover by Mahmoud Asrar, who last week announced that he had left the book as the regular artist with issue number 20, which is sad because he is a very good artist, and he was probably one of the most stable elements of this book after the switch of writers. But whatever his reasons, I don't think we should think that it had to do with some sort of conspiracy with DC, kicking him out or something. I mean, a lot of people, because DC has been moving a lot of writers in the past few months with the New 52, that there really haven't been, a lot of long-term writers. That this is just very adverse to creators, which, I mean, writers come, artists come, writers go, artists go, and it's been going on, since comic books exist. So I don't think we should think that all the reasons for a creator to leave a book are, some evil plot by a company. It's a creative business. So yeah, at times, there will be creative, clashes, and sometimes, the artist needs to move on to other things. Same goes for writers. Maybe they already told the story they wanted to tell, and why prolong a run if the writer doesn't feel like he can say anymore, or many other opportunity shows up. Maybe he needs a time to take a break. Maybe he needs some work that might be a little bit easier with his time. There are many reasons. So it's not a big bad plot, and not every this is very wrong with the way they've been handling the 52. It's not true. You know, it's part of the business. The problem is we live in a very in a time where privacy uh, does not exist anymore. We have social media, and social media actually allows us to expose more of our lives. So if an artist has, a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a blog, you know, people will, there's more interaction between creators and fans. So if somebody asks him why the hell you live, they have to give a reason or reasons, but at the same time try to maintain some privacy. So people's imagination start working. Try to maybe find the worst possible reason for a writer or an artist to leave. And then of course you have news sites now. So back in the old days, you had fanzines that came out maybe once a month. So um, you know, we didn't get to know all the dirty little secrets of creators and or now we can actually get the news faster of upcoming titles and things like that. So if a creator leaves, now you have these news websites that try to call the people up to find out why they left, but what was behind the decision, which I think it's just you know I think like television or movies. I think we should care less about the behind the scenes things, and focus more on the product. I mean, Mark Miller's. I mean, I've read in a blog actually that maybe it was DC that not drove him away because he wanted to make some decisions about his career. Yeah, I don't think just rambling on about things that really bother me about these days where the same thing I heard about when Andy Deagle left the Action Comics before his run really started. Whatever reasons he left, are his own, and we shouldn't think that DC is like the worst place for creators. You know, I mean, I've actually heard that DC just doesn't have a plan and that this is doing everything wrong and Marvel's doing everything right. No, it's a creative business, so creators have uh, have have more opportunity to find newer things, or like I said, there will be creative clashes. Anyways, back to the book comic, Wonder Woman number 22. This basically ends for the time being the reintroduction of the new gods. Uh, uh, Half the issue, I guess, takes place in on New Genesis, and you know, I expected that maybe there would be some comment about Kai Father and the new gods fighting, being in conflict with Apocalypse or something. I think I would have really found that interesting, but um, apparently New Genesis is apparently Genesis is apart from Apocalypse and Darkseid. Uh, it does start though. It ends, the Genesis stuff, the new cut stuff that's been going on in the past few months, the past few issues, and now the firstborn takes the center stage for the next few issues. In fact, the first son, after Wonder Woman returns to Earth, to London, she finds that you know uh, the firstborn attacked London and conquered it, uh, and actually killed Lennox, who was Wonder Woman's half brother, and was pretty much invulnerable. But the first son actually killed him. You see this horrible, horror-inspired imagery of Lennox, the firstborn pretty much ripped his head off, and as you can see here, this is very very stripped his head off. It's kind of like stone like. He looks like stone like. Ripped his head off, and you can see his jaw is broken, and he must have become stone or something like that. The first sun just ripped him apart, and war shows up in the end. So can't wait to see what happens next. And unfortunately, or weirdly enough, I guess, oddly enough, weirdly enough, I felt after I read this that it read a little bit too quickly. Maybe that a lot of stuff didn't happen, but in fact it did, especially right at the end. So, I kind of have this feeling that, you know, just read very fast. A lot of stuff didn't happen, but it did. So, it gave me a very, very odd sensation after I read it. A lot of talking, not a lot of action, but then a lot of story progressed as well. And then, we get to the final pages, and all hell breaks loose. Okay, so this is Legion of Superheroes number 22. This title ends next month, so pretty much the Fatal 5 story ends here. Finally, the Legion wins at a great cost. So next week is just, the aftermath of all this. Uh, yeah, I really like the Legion. Too bad it's ending, but as I mentioned that before, it just seemed that part of the ending was planned because, as I mentioned, Legion lost months ago, kind of gave us a view of, Legion headquarters being destroyed, that there were no Legionnaires around. Um, so, I don't think sales had to do a lot with the tail ending because a sort of end point was already shown months before, so I really have no feeling that you know CS had to do anything with it. Maybe story wise it made sense. Maybe Paul Levitz felt that he had told his Legion story, and it's time for somebody else to pick up the ball, but kind of end it, and then maybe in a few months, maybe next year, we'll get a new Legion title. Who knows what the future holds. And finally, and this isn't part of my radar pool, Justice League of America number 6, part 2 of the Trinity War. Uh, it's a very cool story. Actually, it's a very cool. I definitely like. I definitely like where it's going because it doesn't feel like it's just the Justice League versus the Justice League versus the Justice League. There's more to it than that, and we do have the fight at the end in the first part in Justice League number 22. It kind of ends here, and Superman actually ends the fight. Then it's more of a talking issue, talking heads. They all go to Argus. Um, Superman has this really weird helmet, to control his powers. Um, so you know, unlike maybe a Marvel book done by Bendis, you have all these scenes where people are talking, but it moves the plot. Uh, I usually think of, like I said, Marvel title written by Bendis. Sometimes you have a lot of talking. That and it could be issues of people just talking and no action. Um, uh, and here Jeff Lemire, who co-write the book, have a very good pacing for the book. You have the action scene at the beginning. You have sort of like a interlude there with the characters sort of interacting, not so much as rivals anymore, but just as people. Uh, then you have the part with Superman. Again, I'm talking between the big three there, which I usually find very interesting because Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have this very very close relationship with each other. Um, if Superman or if Batman or if there's a problem between um like back when Batman confronts Superman and Wonder Woman about their relationship, a few issues back in Justice League. Uh, Only Batman can do that. Only Batman can talk to Superman and Wonder Woman the way you know you know that no other character would talk to them like that. I mean, there's usually been presented, as this tight group in these three, sometimes are the ones that make the decisions, the big decisions for the league. You I've seen it in previous runs. You see it here that there is this relationship between the three that the rest of the league doesn't have with them. Yeah, sure they can talk to each other. Flash and Green Lantern can talk to Wonder Woman or Superman, but not in the way that Batman can do it, or the way that Superman can talk to Batman, or the way that Wonder Woman can talk to Superman or to Batman. Batman being the human amongst these two, if you would say, uh, uh, God level type characters, he he's always been definitely shown as being uh, in their level, and I think Batman wouldn't have it any other way. By the way, so anyway, I don't wanna go into details in the story. So anyway, so we have the Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman scene. Before that, Wonder Woman confronts Steve Trevor about him being part of building a Justice League behind the league's back and actually leading them against them. If you really start looking in these two parts of the treaty war, it's always been Steve and Amanda Waller who've been the aggressors. They you know a situation that could have been easily fixed by the league in just league number 22 went out of hand the minute the Justice League of America showed up. So if if like they say, Justice League of America, the most dangerous hero, the most dangerous team around. The team itself is not aggressive, but the people running the the JLA are the aggressive ones. They just want to put the league down, no matter what the cost, as long as the Justice League, is shown as being dangerous. And you really see it, in Justice League number 22, where they feel like, what? We are going to go against, Superman and Batman and Flash? You know, so yeah, I mean, if there's one person that really is really um perhaps unconsciously helping out the villains in their cause is Amanda Waller, and her aggressiveness, her against the league, Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, the league is a scary thing. You have this really powerful group of people, you know, you know, but at the same time, you know, if you want to take down the league, do it, at an appropriate moment. If the need come, if the league does lose control, that's when. But actually, just going in there and creating a worse situation by showing up and pretty much being the aggressor, well, it might help Amanda Waller's cause because it's a bit about PR, a bit about politics. Um, People are gonna get hurt, and I don't know how she's gonna live with that. I mean, Dr. Light died because he wasn't ready, and it's really pointed out Dr. Light did not have any control over his powers yet. So one theory is, Dr. Light's power maybe set Superman's powers on and made him lose control and killed Light. On the other hand, with Pandora showing up in Justice League 22 and giving the box to Superman, when a woman thinks maybe it's magic and something possessed Superman. So you have, you know, two opposing uh, views here. Batman being human, being just a man, tries to find the most logical solution. But Wonder Woman, who is a demi-goddess, who's grown with all these, but we thought mythological creatures as being real, to her it's more logical that maybe magic had to do something with it. So that sort of brings in the Justice League Dark. Once Wonder Woman asks for their help when she learns that nobody really knows about what the box is or who made the box. Um, so she goes to ask help to the Justice League Dark. But at the same time, the Justice League Dark have to get involved because Madame Xanadu, kind of got blown up last issue by plastic, but there's no sign of her. So, you know, maybe she didn't die in the explosion. Maybe something else happened. Um, as I mentioned, Xanadu was a major player, or could have been a major hindrance or obstacle to the villains and their basic goal goal. So whatever happened to Madame Xanadu, we don't know if plastic took her body or she saved herself, or we don't know. So there are more questions there. And speaking of questions, the whole issue is being narrated by the question. So again, we've seen a few appearances by the question. We are slowly learning a little bit more about the character, who is both a mystery to us as he is to himself. He doesn't remember who he is, but all he knows is he has these questions that keep popping up in his head that he has to resolve. And every question that he answers, he feels that will take him to the final question of who he is. So so we're really learning a little bit more about the this character. We know Pandora's origin, we know the Phantom Stranger's origin, but we really don't know the Question's origin. So, and we may not know anyways for a long time to come. So that makes him a very intriguing character, and I hope that soon after he gets his own book, so that we can continue to, so that we get the chance to learn more about him. So yeah, so a very good week for comics for me. Very good stories that came out. You know, so anyways, well, please leave your comments, subscribe, don't like, I don't care. So until next time, keep smiling.